Joining me in the studio is our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert. Doug, these are the second largest large-scale war drills that we've seen staged by Beijing in and around Taiwan in the last 5 months. What has provoked the latest round?
The same thing that provoked the last round, Annette, and that is what China sees as the pig-headedness, the stubbornness, the confrontational, quote, separatist stance of Taiwan's president, who made clear and has made clear that he is not going to simply stand by and acquiesce stupidly and smile as China exerts what a lot of observers have called it an anaconda squeeze, a strategy of literally slowly choking Taiwan through these exercises, through massive shows of both naval and air force, and coming closer to the island and throwing massive military hardware at it while not coming right up to the coast. What has he been saying? He's basically been saying that Taiwan and China, remember China is the mainland and Taiwan is a democratically elected, self-governing island. It has its own army. It has its own currency. It has its own government. And what it has essentially been doing is its leader said, we are not subordinate to China, nor is China subordinate to us. He has also said we are going to resist annexation, which, as he sees it, is China's absolute clear strategy, not his opinion, but the explicit strategy of China, which sees Taiwan as sort of an inherent birthright. Taiwan is China's. China wants Taiwan. At some point, it is made clear it is ready to reclaim what it sees as rightfully it, to reunify it by force if necessary. Because the president has vocally stood in the way of China being allowed to do that, being able to go about this forced reunification, he has been vilified and demonized by the mainland, and he is right now seen as a dangerous influence, a separatist activist who is promoting dangerous independent forces on Taiwan.
And the Taiwanese president as well, what he sees as China's growing authoritarianism. Some China watchers seeing a parallel, if you like, between what is happening with Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, and you don't need too big a looking glass to see that parallel, Annette, because basically, if you look at, obviously, it's a different context, it's a different country. Xi Jinping is not Vladimir Putin. Obviously, they're different leaders, but their logic is the same in the sense that, and a lot of people say, Russia sees Ukraine as its historical sort of birthright. The Ukraine, as Putin has said to U.S. leaders in the past, Ukraine is Russia, Russia is Ukraine. They're no different. It's not, he doesn't see it as a sovereign, independent country. In the same way, China does not see Taiwan as having its own sovereign, national, self-sustaining identity. It sees it as part of China. China, let's not forget, it was colonized, by the Chinese for a long time. But actually, when it came into existence in 1912, it was colonized by the Japanese. The Taiwanese themselves see themselves as obviously sharing a lot of culture, a lot of history with China. Not all of it great, but at the same time, they do see themselves as having a unique identity. This is where the Ukraine parallel comes into being. Vladimir Putin moving against Ukraine because he believes it's within his rights historically, even if the West doesn't get it. And by the same token, Xi Jinping sees Taiwan as historically, rightfully, if not juridically, his. And at some point, we're waiting with bated breath. The expectation is that he is just playing the clock. He will at some point do a Putin and move against it. China's so far been less interventionist. It's been more standoffish in these matters, perhaps, than Russia, which has had a very aggressive posture on the international stage. But a lot of people say, don't be fooled. Xi Jinping knows what he wants, and at some point, he's going to get it. It's just a matter of time.
Douglas Herbert, thank you for that.